Hello everyone, welcome to my live stream. My name is Denise Hutchins and I am broadcasting to you from Studio Mikarts. It is Friday, which means it's time for Chibi Friday. Time to end the week with some fun drawings. Before I get started with that though, I'd like to introduce my charity of the month, which is Food for Life Global. They help hungry people by feeding them healthy, sustainable, plant-based meals, which means they're also helping animals at the same time. So, to help me help them, all you have to do is watch my stream this month and bring your friends, because I'll be making a donation at the end of the month for, I do 10 cents times each unique viewer on Twitch. Minimum $10 and maximum $100. So, you can help by just watching my stream. You can also donate more directly with a little Twitch donate button. I have a goal there of $10. So I'd love if anybody wanted to help in that way as well. But let's talk about what we're going to be drawing today. It is live action Sanji. Yay! This is the Sanji in my heart. I'm so happy that he's real now. We talked about it quite a bit last Friday, but the conclusion that I really liked was Flirt Sanji, not Perv Sanji. So we're going to be finishing this chibi. We've got the ink fairly well done. I think I might want to add a little bit of extra stuff, especially do some, probably just fill in the pupil with black ink and just a few little touches here and there. So that's going to be the first thing we work on, is a little bit of inking using my Sakura Pigma pens, fine liner pens. Hold on a second though. I need to set up my workstation a little bit better. I had less time than usual to get ready for my stream because it was puppy pedicure day, where we have some professional dog nail trim people come to the house and trim the puppy's nails. It's way faster and way less stress for everyone involved to do it that way, but they arrived during my stream prep window, so my setup isn't quite how I wanted it. But now I've got my phone up here. I also turned the volume down just in case anything pops up. Let me also check my... Okay, my speakers on my PC are off as well. Wonderful. Okay. Get myself positioned in my chair nice. Alright. Let's start working on the Sanji. I also have my little kit here, which you can tell Sanji is one of my top favorite characters of all time because it's got the Sanji button on it, and I didn't just put that on there for this. This has been on here for quite some time. Okay. I noticed a few lines looking at this today that I'm hoping I can erase, so I'm going to use my super teeny tiny Tombow Mono Zero. It's called Tombow Mono. It's upside down for you, but Tombow Mono or Mono, I don't know which one. Zero or Zero. Anyway, it's this teeny tiny little clickable eraser. It's the best thing ever. I love it. But there's a few lines I'd like to just try to see if I can get them a little more clean. It looks like this is going to be as good as it gets though, but it's still worth a try, because once you put the marker down, it's not coming up for sure. Marker kind of cements any graphite that's still left over, that's going to be there. So better to try and fail. I guess that's the truth in general. In general, unless you're doing something extremely dangerous, then no. It's better to stay safe and alive. Okay. Everything in moderation. That's my life motto. Okay. I do think I have cleaned up a bit. I think it has been worth it to do a little bit of extra erasing. Alrighty. Get those little eraser bits off the end and put them in the trash can. And I can put that away in my drawing kit. Alright, so first I just want to fill in his pupil. So I'm going to use my graphic 1 to do that. I do think it's cool looking. I've seen a technique to do pupils where it's like hatching or different kinds of line work in there so it's not completely filled in. But for me, because the pupil is actually physiologically, the pupil is a hole in the eye, I like to just make it pure black because it's not actually a color. It actually is the absence of something, not a thing itself. So that's why, even though it looks cool, I just don't usually do that kind of thing. Just fill it in with black. Okay, so now I'm going to get my teeny tiny 005. What's the, a 0.2 millimeter pen. Oh, man, my bit rate is crazy. Overall, okay, so I'm going to explain what I'm seeing. So I have my monitor over here. It has OBS, so I can see what's going out. It also has an iteration of Twitch, up, my, what is it called, Stream Manager. And that also has the video, so I can see what's coming out through Twitch. How did I get my fingers so dirty? Oh, because of this. There's a big graphite pencil in there. Okay, anyway, or crayon. Anyway, oh, it's recovered. The bitrate, I've been having trouble with my bitrate for over a week. And now it's excellent. But my video on Twitch was like all blurry and terrible, so I thought for a second that my camera was not focused. Then I looked at OBS and it is focused, and I don't know what to do, because I did try. I ran the wizard on OBS to try to fix this bitrate issue, and so it redid all the settings based on the information it was getting through the wizard of what would be best for what all the different things I'm connected to or whatever. It doesn't seem to have fixed it though, because my bitrate this time continues to fluctuate between bad and good, just like it has all week and last week. So I'll try and look at it a little bit more later, I think. It's just super weird and frustrating because I've been streaming for years and years and years. The same stuff, just art, just like this. Nothing special. And I've never had this issue before. This is the first time it's ever happened. So I don't know what to do. I gotta Google some more things I can try. Okay. See here that I did not do the bottom line of his hand. I'm glad I noticed that. And I like to do a little extra line under here. I'll pick it up and show you because it really is tiny. But it helps give dimension to the collar of the shirt and the tie, because the tie is going under the collar of the shirt. And then there's a layer of shirt that's against his body, you know, the main part of the shirt, that is being cast shadow by the collar and the tie. So see, I added these sort of little triangles of shadow here and here. So then that just makes it look not flat. It looks like there's some depth to it. Thank you, camera. I'm so happy my camera is focusing on its own. Time for a delicious sip of tea in my Estario tumbler. Estario is the company you work for in my current otome game, Sympathy Kiss. I hope I get to play a little bit more of that this weekend. I've been quite enjoying it so far. It's like a kind of, I don't want to say slice of life, because that makes it sound like it's just some little vignettes from life every day, but it's a more real-world scenario than a lot of the otome games that have come out, a lot of the otome visual novels that have come out in English. Though I'm not complaining about the other ones, because fantasy is actually my favorite. Like fantasy, adventure, historical fiction, but with fantasy, because that's Hakuoki. And Nightshade too. Nightshade is like a Hakuoki is like the end of the Edo period, and Nightshade is like at the beginning of the Edo period, and they're both like historical fiction fantasy games. They're not related at all, but other than their voice acting. Anyway, this one is, at least so far, does not have any fantasy elements, but I'm still quite enjoying it. It's refreshing to do something different. So I love drinking out of my Astario mug every day. I'm really happy because I believe it's Idea Factory International that released this game and therefore released these extras. Like the mug, I got the blanket, I got the special edition that came with a bunch of stuff. And they have been putting out surveys to us buyers, the audience, to see what kind of stuff we would like in special editions. And I always say stuff that I can use in my everyday life. So that it's... Because if it's just like I love figures and stuff, but they just sort of sit there, you know? And it's kind of sad. They don't get lots of attention. Maybe you look at them once in a while, but then they just kind of gather dust. And it's actually kind of sad for them. So having something that you can use in your everyday life, I think is the best. And I wonder if that was an influence, and that's why they released a blanket and a tumbler with this one game. I hope other people bought, because the blanket was a separate purchase. I hope other people bought it too, so that they'll continue to release stuff like that, because I love it. I love that kind of stuff as an otaku, as a massive otaku. Well, a massive otaku, but I'm selective as well. I don't want just like junk stuff. I want good quality stuff. And the blanket is really nice. It's a nice size. It's a great gaming blanket, just to be able to keep you toasty warm. Well, because when you're gaming, you're just kind of sitting there, so you get cold easy. If it's a colder season. All right. Yeah, I'm so glad that I decided to do a little bit of extra ink work, because it makes such a big difference to do this extra stuff. Oh, wait, let's see if it'll focus. No? Okay. Okay, so I've added little bits of extra ink under his hair here, which helps give that some more depth, and just made some lines more even as it comes from this outside part to inside where the ear meets the face. This was kind of an abrupt transition, but I added extra ink so that it's more smooth. I added a little bit more to the corners of his mouth and in various places all throughout his suit. So I think I'll continue like this. I'm not in any rush. I have 2 hours, well, an hour and 45 minutes now. And his color scheme is extremely simple, so I don't think coloring is going to take very long. So I'm gonna just take my time, nice and easy, on his ink work, so that the final result is as nice as possible. Some of these wrinkles, in hindsight, I definitely would have used a smaller pen, but I'm going to use this tiny pen to at least taper the tip of the line so that it looks a little less abrupt, so that the end of the line is a little less abrupt. I'll show you what I mean for those. So right here, it does make the wrinkles, the folds here a little longer than I intended, but I think overall it's better to have a smoother transition for the line. think I'll even add a little hatching to some areas. I don't want to go crazy with hatching, but let's see, the light's coming from this side, so I think we could do a little hatching on this side of the shirt. Oh, it looks so good. I love hatching. It's so nice. And doing it with this teeny tiny pen is ideal for this teeny tiny little chibi body. Let's see. I don't think actually I will do. I was going to do some on the back of his hair here. Oh, it's not focused. Sorry about that. I was going to do a little bit on the back of his hair, but with how big his head is, I think there would actually be enough reflected light coming up from the ground or wherever that it would not actually be very shadowy. So a little hatching under this bangs on this side because they're, you know what, no, we'll put some on this side too. They both, when I look at the reference image, they're actually both up off the forehead a bit. Oh, Sarah, hello! Oh, thank you! Hello, how are you? So great to see you! 6 months, awesome! Yay, thank you so much for joining me. I'm so happy to see you. Hope you're doing well. I hope you're looking forward to a relaxing weekend. I am. Well, I don't know how relaxing it'll be. No, it'll be pretty relaxing. Tomorrow I'm going to a concert. It's the Boise Phil. It's got several songs on the playlist, but the title, the titular song is In the Hall of the Mountain King. So, oh, I think puppies might be home from their walk. Hold on a second. Well, I heard some puppy feet at the door, but they were back upstairs already by the time I opened the door, so they're going out for a walk today. We've started taking them on walks separately, me and my husband, because we just can't find the energy to walk them in the evening after work anymore. So I'm walking them for a short walk in the morning, like first thing right after my workout, and then my husband's going to be taking them whenever he can during the day. So that's why there were no puppies in here. There's still no puppies in here. Right? Thank you. I hope so too. I've been thinking about that, and to be honest, I don't think I'm going to be going to any more concerts because it's just not worth. Because I got sick last time, which you know. So not only was my concert experience ruined by someone coughing the whole time and talking, they were talking to their partner, whoever they were with, the whole time. And it's not cheap. Going to these events is not cheap. So I'm paying for this experience, talking and coughing included. And then on top of that, I got sick, and I had to spend the next week feeling like under the weather, like just feeling kind of off and just trying to carry on. So, me too. I also hope that. Thank you. Man. Yep, at least it's nice, unless they got rid of it. I hope they didn't, but the Boise Phil set up an online platform, like a streaming platform for their performances and some special performances too. So if they still have that, then that's at least a way I could support my local Philharmonic orchestra, because they're actually quite good. I really enjoy their playing, their selections, and everything. It's just the audience ruins it. And that's why I haven't gone to a movie in the movie theater for, I don't know, maybe over a year now. And I just will not, because it's not worth the money to pay to have a bad experience. Especially when you can just stream everything. So yeah, I want to continue supporting this wonderful source of live music, but I will just watch it from home on their streaming service if they still have it. Okay, I think I'm done with ink for now, at least until I sign this at the end. So here are all the updates. The final thing I did was just add a little bit of hatching to the eye to give some texture. You know, because when you look really close at the iris, there's always a little texture in there. And then it's also serves a little bit as shading as well. And then just all these little extra touches, like on the hair, the hatching of the suit, this kind of stuff. So I am ready to start coloring with markers. Yay! So I think I can close this. I don't need this anymore. My standard drawing kit. I think I put it up here. Nope, it's going to slide away. All right. Oh, I'll set it here. Oh, thank you. Yay. Detail has been a goal of mine for so long. I'm pretty satisfied with my ability to create a detailed piece. The thing that I work on now is dynamism. That's the word. To make it not a stiff bit, not with chibis. Not with chibis, but with my illustrations, I like to make more active and energetic scenes, if possible, unless it's specifically meant to be something that's, you know, like someone is sleeping. Well, you don't really. But then you could still have some nice line work that moves and flows. It doesn't have to be all straight, like angles and like a grid or something. Anyway, that's the kind of thing I think about when I do my illustration stuff. Chibi, I don't care so much about dynamism. Unless perhaps you could consider the variation in line weight a sort of dynamism, then I guess I do. Okay, so I like to start with the lightest color area. And I think that'll actually be his hair for live action Sanji. It's hard to say with anime Sanji. I guess it would still be the hair because it's like bright yellow. His hair is not bright yellow. It's just a really light blonde in the live action. So I'm looking, I can either do from the yellow color group, which I don't know. These seem a little too dark already, and then these are too neon. So my other choice is to go to the earth tones and find the yellowy earth tones. So these are the reddy. Oh wait, I guess ruddy. That's why it's ruddy, means red. So the ruddy earth tones. I think maybe this or... Yeah, this is the more yellowy ones. Hold on, I think I heard puppy feet again. Let's see if anybody wants to come in. Oh, you want to come in? Aoife was in the middle of giving up. Welcome. Good girl. Did you have a great walk? Did you have a great walk? She's wagging her tail. Good girl. She's about to get in her bed, but she wants me to scratch her head some. You good girl. Alright, she's laying down. I think this might be the first time. Well, I don't know. They went to puppy boarding school when we were in Japan last year, so they might have gotten multiple walks in a day when they were with those folks. But I think this is the first time we've taken them on multiple walks as a household. Man, it's so hard to choose because it really does have a yellow tint. His hair really does have a yellow tint, but these are not that yellow. Ah! Maybe it'll be good to choose one of these after all. And then build on it, not with such yellow colors like these, but with those browns, those earth tones that I was looking at. So it's definitely got to be one of these. This is more pink. Okay, let's just do yellow 21. That's this one. Wait, you can't see what I'm pointing at. It's this one right here. It doesn't even look different from that. There, now you can see the difference. I'm gonna go with this one. This one leans a little bit more to the pink side, I feel. Okay, yellow 21. Is this not focused? Uh-huh, it was not. Okay. So, his eyebrow is dark, which is just like that anime. So we're just doing the main hair on his head. And we're gonna just use the big end of the marker. And I'm coloring in the direction the hair grows so that if I end up with any lines from wet marker meeting dry marker, it'll just look like hair texture and it won't be a problem. As I get to the tips of the hair, I try to use the very tip of this chisel tip marker. I just said the word tip like 50 times just now. There's no other way to say it. Alright. Those little smaller pieces back there I'll do with the small end of this marker. Eva, you're already getting up? Oh, she decides to go to Chappie's bed. Eva, the heck are you doing? She keeps bumping into the cord for my air purifier and it turns on and off real quickly all of a sudden. Aw, I wonder if she's feeling a bit sore from walking so much today. Since we have been neglecting their walks, and I was feeling so bad about it, and I finally came up with the solution yesterday. So she's probably a bit out of shape. I mean, of course we like play with them and they run up and down the stairs and stuff, but that's not the same as going for a walk. Okay, the next lightest color. Oh, it's hard to say. I guess his shirt, because it's a white shirt with blue pinstripes. Well, I don't know if I call them pinstripes. They're a bit thicker than pinstripes, but they're fairly thin. Blue stripes are definitely small enough that I'm just going to use colored pencil at the end to draw them in. The marker tips, there's no way they'll be thin enough to do that. So let's just put a little bit of shadow on for the shirt. Oh, what color would be good? Maybe cool gray, and then that will but shirts are not really a cool gray color. They're more of like a in the middle, I'd say. Yeah, let's just do neutral gray, because cool gray is quite blue. I was going to say it's nice to have the bluer gray, because then it will work with the blue stripes. But this cool gray is, I feel like, for like snow. Something that's literally cold. So let's do the neutral gray. I think I'll just skip straight up to the N2. It starts at N0. into, it's a very tiny part of the chibi, so there's not much room for a lot of shading anyway. Like lots of different colors, there's just not room for it, so. And then cuffs of his shirt. There, that's probably good. It's probably enough shading, I think. Maybe I'll do one more layer. So let's jump up to N4 and do one more little bit of darker shading. N4. Man, this is going so fast, I might be starting my next chibi today. Little bit of extra, especially right under the head here. And here where there's lots of things converging. And maybe right there, just a touch. Okay. Excellent. Ah, yep. He's starting to become 3D. Let's see, his tie is just black. So easy. So easy to draw Le Sanji. The next darkest thing. Ooh, it's hard to say if it's his eyes or his skin, but probably the eyes because they're like a blue-gray. In fact, this cool gray might be the perfect. Let's look at that. It looks like blue-gray. Well, I don't know how well that comes across on the camera though, but let's do cool gray, and then if I remember by the time we get to that point, we can add a little bit of colored pencil blue to give it a pop of color, but not too much, because this is another teeny tiny little space. I'm doing the same thing as with the shirt and starting with level 2, so C2, cool gray 2, and then the next level will be C4. And just tapping instead of drawing across the page so that I can get more little eye texture, iris texture, I'll say. So let's see if the camera will autofocus. Oh, thank you, camera. There. And I just tapped the tip of the small end of the marker so that I could get little texture. Plus, I love putting or leaving light area right next to the pupil, because that's what I see when I look at a real eye. The iris curves in to become the pupil, and therefore there's a little light that hits there, and so having a tiny bit of highlight on that edge. I love taking that from life and applying it to my images. Do I need another level down? I think I do. I want another level of darkness for his eye. Sounds so ominous saying it like that. Another level of darkness. Dark Sanji. I just want right under the eyelid to kind of imply that the eyelid is sticking out and casting a shadow. Ah, yes. Looks good. Me likey. Yeah, I'll show you that. I know. See, it's so tiny. I always have to hold it up. There. Just a little bit right under the eyelid. You give so much dimension just by doing a teeny tiny little shoop. Okay, what's next? Oh, it's favorite song time. It's the laundry is done. Laundry is done song. Okay. His eye, the white of his eye. I'm thinking about, so just like there's a little shadow that I drew cast by the eyelid here. I want that on the white of the eye. I'm thinking about whether I want to use the colors I've already gotten out, but I am pretty sure I prefer to do something a little warmer. Then again, warmer kind of... Oh, hold on. I hear Chappie's feet. Focus. That's so distractible. Come here, girl. Yep, your bed's taken. Sorry. You gotta go in the other bed. They're exactly the same bed. Well, one is brown and one is blue and orange and white. Oh, there's Chappie. Now both dogs are in here. Okay. So I'm not going to do a warmer color. The reason being, if you make the white of the eye too warm, then it could almost look like there's jaundice happening. So I don't want that. But you don't want it cool either, because that's not really very natural. So I'm going to use this neutral gray that I already have out. So show this shadow on the white of the eye. And I love doing that too. It's so sad that it's just a moment. It's a split second, but it's so satisfying to see that little subtle difference. Ah! It brings me back to when I did these chibis in anime convention artist alleys all the time. And that was always one of my favorite. It's still one of my favorite, but it just, for some reason, it's a very strong memory is applying that part. It's true though. It can start to look like you have yellow eyes and liver failure. So. Alright, I'm not done with the grays because now it's time for his teeth. The teeth, I actually do like to tend toward a warmer gray because teeth are, unless you, either you have extreme whitening done all the time or you're a baby and your teeth are fresh. Teeth are just naturally a yellow tone. So I like to use a warmer gray. But let's think, do I want to use toner gray, which is on the warmer side of these 4 different grays, or do I want to just go straight to a warm gray? I think I'm gonna go all the way to warm gray. Boo doo 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 doo. Okay. TW. No, it's not a T. It's a W. W2. Just like your tax forms. It's so funny, all of these colors remind me of other things, like when I use a toner gray and it's T2 and that reminds me of Terminator, W2 reminds me of taxes, C4 reminds me of action movies and people planting bombs or whatever, because it's called like C4 or something. It's some sort of explosive. Maybe I'm misremembering, but anyway, it's very funny that my brain's like, oh, I know what that is. That's not really what I'm thinking about at all, brain. Okay, just adding some shadow from the sides of his mouth as his teeth are curving in within his face, and the upper lip casting some shadow downward as well. And I think that I'll just do the one color for this. Don't really need a bunch of shading on the teeth. Just a little bit, a little touch. Subtle. Yeah. Okay, let me have another sip of my delicious Otome Game tea. Yummy. Next darkest color is... What color has buttons on his shirt? I think I gotta look it up on my phone because Sanji. I'm looking at my search history. Live action Sanji photo. There we go. I had found last week one that actually showed his... Oh, he's so cute. Okay. That actually showed his whole Maybe his buttons are just black? They're gold in the original. Sanji! Dang, I cannot. Somebody did a realistic art piece of a live action Sanji if he was anime Sanji. Come on, man, I just want to see the color of the buttons. I think that would just be black. How come I can't find... Oh, there's a... There's a GIF. I'm getting distracted just with it. Okay, I'm going to go back to the beginning. There was a sort of full body image, but it's not really... His hands are freaking right in front. They're right in front of where the buttons are. Okay, maybe I can find another one, though, based on this. More images like this, because the reason... Oh, this is the picture. Yay. Oh, they're gold. Okay. Oh, this is a slightly different image. Or this is a slightly different suit. Oh, you can't really see. The shirt's different. So, I mean, you can have the same shirt and you can have the different shirt and same jacket, but here is... Okay, they are gold. Ah, the camera does not show the contrast at all. They're gold. Okay. So the gold buttons. I have some options. I have a gold colored pencil. And I'm pretty sure I always use it on Sanji. Actually, when I draw Sanji, I always use a gold colored pencil. You can only really tell that it's gold in real life. So when I'm looking at this with my naked eye, when I scan it and put it online, it can't capture that metallic quality, but I think I'll just use this same yellow as the base color for the buttons. They're so tiny, I can't really fit much shading. I think I'll just put this base color. Then later I will add that gold colored pencil and then a little touch of white ink. It doesn't even necessarily have to be on each button. Like these buttons on the cuff probably wouldn't be catching the light in a way that it needs any highlight, but maybe like this button right here. Anyway, so that means I'm done with the buttons for markers. So it's time to do his skin, because all that's left is really dark stuff, the suit and his eyebrow, basically. Colored pencil sparkle, yes! I have a silver and a gold. So nice. I've been thinking about doing a Chibi series with gold leaf halos in the background. I'd like to make animals, Chibi animals with gold leaf halos in the background. And just today I was thinking, it's funny, I was playing with Kiki, and then my mind was just thinking about this idea I've had. I'm like, oh, but the gold leaf will only be on the original. But then I was like, oh, but if I sell the prints myself and it's not like on a print, made to order print site, I could still add gold leaf halos in the background to each individual print. Of course, that would mean that each print is way more expensive than what I would normally charge, but that's just a project that's been in the back of my mind for a while, and so once I've finished up some of these other projects, I think I might see about doing that. I think it would be a really interesting thing. I've never used gold leaf before. I'm always just imagining it. Like, it's just always floating around in my mind. This is something I would like to do. Trying to figure out what would be the best skin tone for him. He does seem to have... He seems to have darker skin than me, but not terribly dark. So I'm fairly fair skin with a very pink undertone. He does seem to have a more of a yellow undertone to his skin. At least based on the photos I'm looking at. Of course, the lighting makes a big difference too. So I think I'll just give him something like... Oh, that's a little too light. Oh, what are you barking at? Pale girls unite. You are also... Do you also have the super pink palms like this? I have a very big British Isles, as you can tell from my freckly and pale pink skin. Chappie, off. I don't know what she's barking at. My sister is here working on our yard, as she usually does. She is our gardener and keeps everything so beautiful. She's my Samwise Gamgee. But I wasn't hearing anyone, so I don't know why Chappie is barking. I don't know which color to do. These seem a little too... These are definitely too dark over here. But even this is a little much. Baby skin pink. Actually, maybe this one would be good. It's a little bit more pink, though. Maybe I'll do the baby skin pink. E21. And, I don't make up the names for these markers, so... Some of them I think are a little bit troublesome. A little bit problematic, but I don't make up the names, so... Don't shoot the messenger, I guess. It's not exactly the same thing as that, but... Yeah, let's just do this. E21. We'll do E21 as the base color. Okay. Well, I gotta remember his little tiny nub hands down here. Boop. A little bit showing right there. Boop. Okay. I am going to use the small end of the marker, even though there are some fairly big areas to fill. Happily, I have recently refilled this marker, so sometimes the small end is fairly dry, even if the larger end of the marker is still pretty moist, but this one is nice on both ends. But I'm using the small one because there's so many little small points and stuff to navigate. So I gotta keep moving on both sides so that neither side dries too much. This won't be able to be perfectly smooth of a coloring job, but if you just keep working each area evenly, then at least any lines that show up will also be even across patches. Almost done. Woo! Oh, we did it! Yay! Yep, not a very varied color scheme here. All grays and one earth tone and one yellow. That's all there's really gonna be. My eye. I put an eye drop in on my monotact. My contact. I have one contact lens. That's all I need. But it's already getting dry again. And I just put it in like, I don't know, an hour ago. Okay. So I'm thinking, do I want to add the black now? I think I better save it because, or at least for the eyebrow. Yeah, let's add more shading because we did all the shading for these little gray areas. So let's get the shading done for the hair and the skin. So hair, what I usually do when I use a yellow for hair is then use the earth tones for the shading, and then that way, unless I want it to be really cartoony looking, but this is specifically live action Sanji, so I don't want it to be really cartoony looking. I think either, that might be a little too close, but let's try this E55. It's called Light Camel. E55 as the first shade color on the hair. Hopefully that'll be a good mixture. Alright, I have my reference image up, so I'm just going to use it for direction as far as the lighting. The light's hitting like from this direction. Above and a little bit to, well actually quite a bit to the side and above. So like from over here. So there's a lot of shading on this side, but some reflected light lighting up his hair on the very edge. So let's color with that in mind. And wherever I've done a black ink line, it's definitely a good spot to put some shading, because then the ink line doesn't look like it's just some random thing. It looks like part of the shading, or yeah, it adds to the shading instead of just being a random thing on its own. Alright, and for this side of the hair, I'm going to use the big end. But like I said, I'm going to try and leave a little bit on the edge to account for the reflected light that I'm seeing. Okay, now using the smaller end to add more hair texture as well as shading. Paying special attention to these areas with the black ink lines. Yeah, man, I like this. Nice. Nice. Do we want to add a little bit more? I think I might add a little bit more using the original color. Slaying the colors. Oh, Satoita, hello! With their little cute tofu badge. How are you? Are you done? Are you done with gardening for today? So I'm adding a little bit of the original color. Just layering it will give you a darker color too, so it's really nice for making a subtle transition from color to color and blending. Gokuro-sama! Good job! Oh wow! Hopefully the branches don't hang down all to the ground all sad this year then. It was very weird how those branches on the cherry tree grew up last year and then they only grew fruit and leaves on the very tips, so they and it's not supposed to be a willow or a weeping tree. It just hung all the way down to the ground. Okay, so the first round of shading is done on the hair. Let's choose a color for the skin, because these are about the same tone or the same level of shade. So I'll just keep moving back and forth because they can help inform one another as well. So the color we used was E21. Maybe this E33 might be a nice step down for shading. Let's get that one. That one's called Sand. E33. Ooh, it's almost break time. Okay. The shading on the reference image I'm looking at comes all the way across his face. So this shadow starts about in the middle and comes all the way over to this side. There is reflected light again on this side of his face, just like on the hair. So I'll do the same thing. Try to leave, oh, I guess I'll show you this up close because it's hard to see because it's so small. Oops. Sorry if that made a loud sound. I accidentally hit my mic instead. So I left this little strip to be reflected light. So I'll do the same thing on his cheek here. And a little bit along his jaw, but it doesn't completely... The reflected light does not go completely under the entirety of his jawline. That's weird. The smaller tip is actually more saturated with ink on this marker. So I've got this darker patch. Okay, I've got to use the same tip the whole time, I see. Okay, and I'll put a little dab for his dimpled chin and some on his eye. And where his hair is casting a shadow on his forehead. Oh, my Garmin knows that it's break time. Okay, I'll leave it there for a few minutes while I take my midstream break. It's exactly time. Yay! So I'm gonna go stretch, walk around, just look at something else. So I hope everybody else will do the same. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Hello everyone, I'm back. Hope you're all back too. Let me turn my mic up slowly as to not have a startling return to streaming. Dang, bitrate is unstable again. Doing the wizard did not work. Did the OBS wizard and it did not work. Well. Alright, so I've got this shading on his face and it's pretty good, but it's a bit strong, so I'm going to do exactly what I did with the hair and go back to the base color to create some transition. Oh, it sounds like one of my puppies has come back. Well, they came back, but they did not come to my door, I guess. Or they left. Okay. Hearing a puppy feed again. Okay. I'll give it a second. Okay. Taking this all the way back. Oh, yep, I'm hearing a puppy claws for sure. Hold on. Oh, it's Zipa. Oh, here she comes. Here's Chappy. Good puppies. Good puppies. Go lay in your bed. Good girls. Alright. My studio assistants are both here. Chappy's like, why are you wearing those? Those, I know those socks. How come you're wearing them? Alright, just making this nice. Smooth transition between colors. Add a little bit of shadow under the jawline on this side. And I got a little bit of marker on his teeth there, but it's okay. I can either fix it with a little bit of white ink, or probably what I'll do is just fix it in Photoshop after I scan it. Alright, adding a little bit of shading to the lips to show that the lips are not just this flat thing that comes down. It's got a little bit of angle under. Exie, hello! Welcome, welcome, welcome! Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. That's so wonderful. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you have a great Friday. Well, it's probably not even Friday for you anymore. I hope you have a great weekend. Oh, thank you, thank you. Hope to see you next week. Alright, and I think I shall actually add a little bit more to this reflected light on the back side of his face, because it was looking a little extreme compared to the rest of the shading. Unfortunately, this little bit right here is still quite strong where I used the opposite tip and it had more pigment in it. But hopefully I can use some colored pencil toward the end and make that less of this, like, why is there a big triangle of shadow right here? Now I'm adding a little bit more shading to underneath the hair. I'm using that second color, this. And so where the skin is light here, I used the same color to create shadow, so I'm going to, for the lip, and so I'm going to do the same thing on the shadow side, use the shadow color to create the shadow for the lip. I'm going to take it down into the bottom lip as well, a little bit. Not all the way across the lip, just at the corners. There. Ah, I love it. It looks so 3D. Now, hold this up closer so you can see. Yeah, this little triangle right here, I'm going to try to make that a little more subtle with the colored pencils later. I just did not expect the smaller tip of the marker to be so much more pigmented. And looking at the eye, I think I could make it a little bit more subtle by adding some of this. Let's see. Carry that down a bit. Maybe a bit of shadow right there. All right. Like that. Awesome. Oh, Wolf is here too. Hello. Yay. I've heard from all my regulars now. It's so wonderful. How are you? Are you gonna have do you have any fun plans for the weekend now that it's Friday? Yay! It's so fun on Fridays. There's so very often it's more like we're all gathering here to hang out on Fridays at the end of the week. I got up to get a darker shadow color for his hair and realized I didn't pick what color I wanted. So hold on a second. So it was E55 that I used for this darker color. So let's see. That is from this line. But it gets quite dark and brown. That's a little bit too much. Maybe I actually pick a yellow color. Go to the yellows. Yellow orange. Oh. Or yellow red, i.e. orange. Oh, that's gonna be so fun. So it's like are you saying you took a nap because you're gonna be waking up early or staying up late or something? Wow, that'll be fun. Is it in celebration of something or just to have fun with a big fire? I love lighting fires, not in a pyro kind of way, but oh, you're going, okay, gotcha. Yeah. I'm always groggy after a nap. Happily, I haven't had to take a nap in a long time. The last time I needed a nap was last month when I was sick. And it was just like a little, or it wasn't even a nap. I just slept in a little bit. Though I guess I did that today too, so, But a nap I haven't needed in a while. Thinking about his hair. I think this might actually be really nice colors. Take a look at this. Yellow Red 23 and Yellow Red 24 are almost the same color, according to my swatch book. But it does look like the 24 is a bit darker. So let's do Yellow Red 23. Let's see what that looks like. Yellow red 23. I haven't gotten to do a fire in a long time. I say do a fire. I know nobody else says that, but that's how I say it. I haven't gotten to do a fire in a long time because we need to get our chimney repaired, so no fireplace fires. And for some reason last year I know why, because the air quality gets bad so fast that it's like constant red air quality, and I don't want to add to that by doing my own little bit of fire. But maybe this year I can find some weekends to enjoy my fire pit out back before wildfire season reaches us. That would be nice. So I love building a fire and tending to it and watching it and roasting marshmallows over it. So nice. So fun. That's fun. BBB. Bonfire brats and beers. So I guess it's fairly good temperatures over there to do something like that. I mean, it's a fire, so it'll keep you warm either way, but I don't like to be too cold. Because it is fun to be warmed by the fire, but if it's too cold, it's like all you can do is huddle as close to the fire as possible, and you have to keep turning around to warm your back and turn around to warm your front. I guess that's another reason why spring and autumn are even better than summer for doing a fire. Because of that. Yeah, I think this is good enough for the marker on his hair. I will add more details with colored pencil when we get to that point. So, I think I'm ready. Actually, let's add a little bit more. That little triangle's bugging me on his face, so maybe if I do something like that, that'll help disguise it. I did a little hatching with that darker end of the marker. Here's how that's looking. And also, I guess, here's how the hair looks with those little extra touches of the next darkest color. So then we're ready to move on to all the rest, which is all black. It's a black suit, tie, shoes, and his eyebrow. And I think that I'll just go ahead and do warm gray for all of them, including the eyebrow. And since they are all black, I think I'll start with W5 to be the lightest color where the light's hitting. So W5. Oh, it's not cold at all. Oh, not this time. Oh, really? Oh, it's going to be, so it's actually going to be great. Yeah, that seems like the perfect temperature. Oh, that'll be cute with a bunch of Aries running around. Gallivanting about with one another. Is it just out at like a campsite or something? Or is there some dedicated place or like a beach? Alright, which side do I want to use? Well, let's start the smaller side for his eyebrow. Yeah, that's good. Oh, let's stick with the smaller side. There's so many little, like the little buttons and everything. Let's stick with the smaller side for the rest as well. Oh, okay. This is doing at the friend's house. That's nice. They do that. I think you said it was just like to do that regularly? Or is it a seasonal kind of thing? Kind of thinking of doing some fire pits at my house on my birthday vacation weeks. I'm going to be taking 2 weeks off for my birthday coming up here. For my actual birthday weekend, I'm doing my Lord of the Rings marathon, but I have plenty of other days where I could be enjoying, I could just like build a fire and like read a book. And every so often get up and poke it and get the coals going and throw on another log. And roast some marshmallows. Oh, yeah. So they have like tree trimmings and stuff that just start to pile up, and then eventually it's like, oh, it's time, guys. Are you ready? I definitely have plenty of trimmings over here that are ready. So it's been over a year since I could have used my fireplace. I love doing fires in the fireplace when it's cold. And we have the recliners in front and just reading in front. Actually, even more than reading, I so often end up just taking a nap right in front of the fireplace. It's so comfy, and My cat often gets in my lap and everything. Just dreamy. Alright, base color down. Now we're just going to keep adding shading colors. So I'll probably skip. So we'll do W7 and then W9. And then if there's any areas that really seem like they need more, then I'll just use one of the actual black markers. So I'll get the 7 and the 9 out. Burn all the overgrown branches. Yep, it is nice to not have to buy firewood to enjoy a nice fire pit. That was a requirement for me for the house that we were going to move into. I was like, it has to have a fireplace. It must have a fireplace. No gas fireplace. The point is tending the fire for me. The point is not to have a flame. I want to tend the fire. I think it's probably because I love fantasy stuff so much. And fantasy stuff always has people tending fires and adventuring by the fireside and stuff. Ooh, if I did a big heave. Okay, have a sip of tea now. Okay, that wasn't a sip, it was a big gulp. Okay. Continue adding more shading. Let's see if I can get my... I had found a full... Oh, here it is, here it is. It's a full-size image of Sanji in his suit. Although the lighting isn't quite the same. Blast it! I'll just have to use my imagination. So the light's coming from up and sort of in the front and the side. So do my best to reflect that in the shading of the pants here. And the shading on the shoes. And the jacket will be casting shadow onto the pants. On this side of the arm will probably be mostly in shadow, I think. So there's so much shadow on his hair on this side. And where his head would be casting shadow onto his body. His giant chibi head. Oh, let's get his eyebrow as well. So that's the first layer of shading. I might end up taking it even darker once I add more. It's like this part actually seems too light. But let's keep going. And then we could do that later if it really seems like it needs it. am going to add more. But let's get this all done first, and then we'll add. And then it can also act as a blender. So let's go back to not the lightest color, but the middle color of these three that we've been using. Okay, now I am going to the lightest color. Let's blend it all together. Because his suit is not shiny. So we don't need some, his shoes are shining, and I'll add a little bit of shine with white ink at the end. The rest of the suit is fairly matte. Oh man. I was giving my dogs treats earlier. They were getting their nails trimmed by nail trim people. So we're just feeding them treats. Well, specifically Aoife, because Chappie just sort of turns into one of those fainting goats. So once they pick her up, we don't need to do anything to keep her still. I had the treats in my hand and was just slowly letting like Aoife lick them, and then like every so often actually giving her one. But I have not washed my hands since. It smells like dog treats. Well, actually, it's technically were cat treats because we wanted small ones. I didn't notice until now. I'll definitely be washing my hands after I'm done with this. Like, because the puppies licked my hands clean. There's not like residue. But the smell is still there. Okay. Yeah, man, I'm quite happy with that. There's the suit. I might even go a bit darker. But let's put a little more marker on his eyebrow first. Oh, bitrate still says unstable. Well, at least I was able to try something today so that I could check off. Okay, so that didn't work, and now let's try the next thing. Okay, I think that's good for his eyebrow. I like to give it a little bit of texture. Oh man, I don't even know if you can tell, but just layering the marker. It's not really about giving it shading so much as like giving it texture. Now, do I want to bring out the actual, there's two black markers. Black and special black. There's hardly any difference. The special black seems to be a little bit cooler. But that's about it. I think I will. It's 100 is its number. Texture. Yeah, me love it. Me love adding texture. Adding definition. So fun. Making chibis is so fun. That's why I said it as my Friday thing. Almost as a reward. A reward for me. I got through the week. Now it's time to have fun drawing chibi. Putting these little details on something that's otherwise very simple. It's a fun way. It's a fun way to draw. Okay, now I added the regular 100 black. So to sort of bring it all together, I'm going to move backwards through all the other colors and add some more of each of them. So I do think overall the suit is still a bit too light. This is supposed to be a black suit, not a dark gray suit. We're getting there. So I still want the different pieces of the suit to be visible. But I want it to look like a black suit that's being lit up. Not a dark gray suit. Ah, yeah. I think that's good. Okay. What time is it? We've got about 30 minutes left. That's much better. And with that, I think I'm done with markers and ready to go onto colored pencil. I'm going to look it over one more time just to be sure before I put the markers away. I won't put them away on a stream because that'll take a bunch of time. But move him off to the side. Ah, I didn't put any shading on his little nub hands. It's so tiny, we're just going to put a little dot, but we need something. There. And there. And blend it in with the base color. Boop. Boop. There. Haha, I'm glad I looked. Anywhere else I want to add any marker, detail, or spot that I missed? I think that's good. Yay! Okay. Let's move my markers out of the way. Move them up here. This is a huge range of markers. Not very much variety in the hue or whatever. I can't remember the exact terms for different color aspects of color, but quite a They're mostly grays, in other words, but there's quite a few of them that we have used. Okay, put that down and get my colored pencil set out. Alright, I'm going to have to position this carefully so that everything is still visible, but I have room for my colored pencils to be. Let's move this here. Put my little tape up like that. Let's scoot it over a little bit. It's still kind of hanging off the desk a little too much. So the lid of this is taped, so it's like a hinge, and it's hanging off by like 3 inches. I think that'll be okay though. And that way, Sanji is still mostly in the middle. Okay, what shall we do first for colored pencils? How about the fun one? Where's my gold colored pencil? I'm gonna put the gold on the... Ooh, it's even nice and sharp from last time I used it. Put the gold on the buttons. Won't really be able to appreciate it in the scanned digital version, but I'll be able to appreciate it with my own eyes on this one. And I think maybe it'll catch the light if it will focus. Reaching for the button. Maybe. I don't know. Well, you can see the marker catching the light. Well, it's this metallic gold. It's so tiny you can't really tell, but I love the color too, the overall color that it gives these buttons. Okay, that's done. What next? I guess we can just work from top down. Let's do the hair next. What do I want? Maybe brown. This brown or something maybe like this one? Sepia. To add some. I need it even sharper than this. This is fairly well sharpened, but it's still not quite sharp enough. Let's see. This is quite full. Let me empty this real quick. Okay. My favorite ratchetta sharpener. How's that? I think that's better. There's a little bit of shaving still in there. Okay. Oh yes, that's much better. So if it's sharp, you can get a nice thin but bold line, which is what I want for... I'm adding a little bit of shading through doing this, but mostly I'm going to add hair texture. And not too many, but I'm doing some crossing, some lines crossing. Since hair doesn't fall perfectly, they cross here and there. And I also spin this every so often as I'm drawing so that I keep using a sharp side, because as you use it, it gets blunt on one side, and so if you turn it, it will be a sharper point without having to actually sharpen it every time. Now I'm just making just a few lines a bit more bold than the others. So there's some variety in the level of shading happening. I think I might actually be satisfied with that though. Here's how that looks. Yay, thanks camera. It's just mostly texture, but a little bit of detailed shading on the hair. Next, I guess moving down is the skin. So I think first I'll do my favorite thing, which is just a chibi thing. Has nothing to do with what I'm seeing in the reference image or anything, but it's to add cute blushing cheeks. It's totally just a chibi thing. I also like to add a little bit of pink under the eye too, to show the water line of the eye. What I'm swiping away with my hand is sometimes little extra pieces of the core of the pencil come off. So I'm just swiping those away, like teeny tiny little particles. Let's put a touch, just a little touch on his lips of this pink too. There, I love it. I love adding the big pink blushy cheeks on my chibis. But that's not all. I love to take it a little extra with, it's hard to decide which color, but a little extra with some red toward the center, close to the eye. Try not to overdo it, but yes. There's how that's looking. Ah, so cute. So cute. I'll use the pink again to smooth out that red that I just applied and mix it in. Blend it. Now I'm going to take this color, which is a fairly good match for the marker that we used. I'm gonna sharpen it though. As you can tell, I use this one quite a bit. It's so short. And I'm gonna use this to smooth out these areas, or as much as I can. It's never 100%, but there are some lines where the marker had dried before I could get to adding the next section. So using a little colored pencil on top just makes it a tiny bit smoother. Just evenly, lightly apply it. So try to use it, I hold it farther back and that helps. And use the side and that helps to not, because if you go like this, it's going to be just some really strong lines instead of a light smooth application. Just want the light smooth, light and smooth. And I'm bringing it even into the shadow a bit. I don't want it to just suddenly stop right there, because then it sort of defeats the objective of making it look like a smooth transition from color to color. Alright, yep, that's much better. Doesn't 100% mask it, but it really does smooth it out. And so I'm going to do the same thing with the shadow colors. I think maybe this would be a good color for that. At least for the mid-tone. A little bit stuck on. Okay. Man, this is such a good match for the marker. It's like I can't even see it. Especially when I bring it onto this part with that triangle bit of too dark. Oh yes. Yeah, I don't think anybody would know, unless they watch this stream, that there was a bit that was too dark right there. It's perfectly concealed now thanks to the hatching of the markers and then this colored pencil on top of that. Wonderful! Yay! Okay, so that's how it's nice, smooth skin now. All the little marker issues that I didn't want are concealed. All right, what's next? His eye. Yes, it's his eyes next. And I wanted to add some blue. We've already got a great blue-gray color, but I wanted to add some blue just to be a nice pop, regardless of whether it's realistic or whatever. So there's some light blue in there. And let's do a dark blue in the darker areas of the eye. Ooh, yes. Hold this up in a second. Okay, and now some gray. What's this? Warm gray? No, not warm gray. I want warm gray, cool gray. Bit of cool gray to tame the blue a bit. Ooh, and it could also be like an indication. Sanji's thing is he's searching for the all blue. So it's perfect because his eye is on the all blue. Whether literally or just because that's his dream. Okay, here's his eye. Yay! I think that's a nice subtle blue, but still got a little bit of anime style vibrancy to it. Next. Well, I didn't want to put too much on the teeth as far as shading goes, but now that I've done everything else around it, they look a bit too, or they look underworked. So I actually am going to, I think I'll use this French gray color. Or do I want warm gray? No, I'll use the warm gray colored pencil. Let's see, I'll do the one in the middle, 30%. Because now that I'm seeing it with all the other shading around it, it's too subtle. And maybe I can even cover up this little bit of skin tone that got onto the teeth. Oh, yep, I can. Excellent. Let's cover that up with the teeth shadow color. Ah, that's better. Okay. So there's that. Yeah, that's much better. Just a little bit of shadow on the teeth. I wonder if I should do the same on the eye. Let's add a little bit. Is this bent? No. For a second, this pencil looked bent. And it was distracting. Oh, Sanji, we only have 10 minutes to go. I definitely want to finish you on this stream. You're almost done. But I don't want to rush either. So we'll see. there's not actually that much left to do because I don't think I need to do anything. Or maybe I will do highlights with white colored pencil on the suit. Because it's not a shiny, like I said, it's not a shiny texture fabric. So white colored pencil will give it a nice highlight that's still appropriate to the texture of the fabric. Sometimes I want a lighter touch, and other times I want a little bit of a sharp highlight. Oh, and how about his tie too? Hee look good. Wow. Okay. Okay, let's not take it too far. If you add too much highlights, then it just becomes flat instead. I am going to add a little bit of black colored pencil on this lapel. Haha, I remembered how to say it, lapel. Because the marker is not that, there's like a line like this, which doesn't correspond to any bit of shadow. What's that, Wolf? Hey! What's that for? Adding a little gray to the shirt now. Shading looks a bit stark here. Oh, that's much better. Much better. And we'll do some here too. Yup. Good. Oh. Thank you for teaching me. Lapel. I just have to think of it as like French or Italian or something. Lapel. Okay. Any more colored pencil stuff, or are we ready to do ink in these last 7 minutes? I think we might be ready for ink. Yay! Let me put these colored pencils away so that I don't accidentally knock them on the floor. It is a thing that has happened, maybe not on live stream, but it's happened to me. Okay. Ink. Ink time. Where is my white ink? Ah, I have too much stuff in my closet. Ah! Okay. Oh, here we go. Here it is. And what do I want to use? Brush. I don't have any water. But brush works really well. I think I'm gonna have to. Okay, I will. Okay, I'm gonna be right back. I'm just gonna get a little bit of water in my pellet. This is why I need a utility sink in here. That's why that's my current big savings thing for Studio Mikarts. Cause then I could have just, it would have been right over here, 4 feet away. Okay. So I used this quite recently. I might not need to... Oh, I better get a paper towel too. I might not need to mix it, which would be nice because it'll make it faster. We have 5 minutes. I'd really like to finish this stream. But I also don't want to stream too much extra because it's Friday, so I really want to start relaxing. Okay. Ah, dang. It does need to be mixed. So I'll show you. It's already separating. I think you can see there's a bit of, like, looks like yellow. And it's just the solids are separated from the liquid. So I've got to mix this a bit first. Oh, it's not too bad though. That's why I have this stick rubber banded to the ink pot, because it separates so easily and it dries out really easily too. I'm always having to add water if I haven't used it in a while. Okay. So first I'm going to take a little ink with a little water. Let's see. Is this one? I don't want to put it in a bunch of water. But I don't want a really thick blob of ink either. I'll try to get the best possible consistency. I think this is. Alright, so let's start with his eye, the most fun part, adding that little highlight that brings all the anime style artwork to life. Boom! Ah, he's alive. He's alive. He's alive. Since he's a chibi, let's indulge in some extra sparkles. I love it. I love it. I love it. Look at his sparkling eye. This is the best part. This is the best part. Ah, I love it. All right. I'm just going to add little touches of white ink anywhere. I think I need something like right here, the corner of the eye. I think a little bit there, and maybe a little highlight on his lip, lower lip, just catching some light. And yeah, I might stream a couple extra minutes. Come on, let's just finish this. It's almost done. And a little touch on the cheek. Not because that's necessarily how the light hits it, but just because it always looks super cute to put a little touch in that really red part, right in the heart of the blush. Alright, the bit of white I added on the lip kind of faded in, so I'm going to put a little bit extra on there. Alright, next let's do the hair. And these ones, it's nice to do little slow, steady strokes. Long and slow, steady strokes for the hair. And I like to make a few coming outside of the black ink lines. Like that. I'll show you what I mean in a second. Like they're just barely catching the light. Little stray hairs. I think it makes it look so nice. So actually, for me, it looks nicer when the hair is a tad bit like naturally messy. How hair is in real life. Instead of super perfect. Since I'm not making animation, I totally understand if you're making an actual animation, like an animated thing, then the more complicated something is, the harder it is to animate. So for actual anime artwork, I completely understand super simplified hair, but this is an illustration, so let's add some nice details. But just like I said earlier, you don't want to take it too far and add too many highlights and little special touches, because then it just makes the whole picture flat and loses the specialness of those kind of strokes. So let's put a little bit on the hair. My anime style, hitting along a certain line. I might come through here again in a second because the white ink, once it dries, becomes a little bit translucent. So going over it again makes it more opaque. Yes! Ah! It's looking so good! It's looking so good! Let's bring some out here. Over the lines, over these thick black lines, because then it makes it so that the lines are not just this outline that's separate from the rest of the piece. It makes it feel like the outline itself is part of him. Oh, I just remembered there is one more thing I want to do with the colored pencils. Let's add my purple to the shadow areas. So I'll do that after I finish this. And I think that this is good for, oh, let's do a little touch on his chin. So he has a dimple in his chin. So let's do a little bit. And now that the ink has dried on his eye, let's do a second layer so it's really nice and bright. So fun. So fun to do this really bright highlight on the eye. Okay. I won't show you that yet. I'll just do this purple colored pencil real quick, and then I'll give the final reveal, I guess, of how Chibi live action Sanji turned out this time. Alright, I think it's this one that I generally use. Yeah. I can tell because it's the shorter one of all my purple colored pencils. Let's sharpen it a bit. It's quite blunt because I use it all the time. How's that? Alright, I think that's good enough. It could get sharper, but that's good enough. Okay. I remembered because I was doing this part of his hair, and I really wanted to add this purple to this part of his hair that's behind his head. Let's add some to the shadowy parts of the face, and this part of the hair too. And it's, oh good, yeah, it does show up on this dark. The colored pencil is the wax, so it actually sits on top and doesn't blend in. So it's visible even on all this dark ink. And it's great adding it to the hair because yellow and purple are complementary colors, which means that naturally adding them together as pigments creates a dark color. People will say it makes black. No, it doesn't. It doesn't make black, but it makes a dark color if you mix complementary colors. Oh yes, it's so good adding that purple. It's just so lively. It makes the whole image so lively. Let's do a little bit in the eye too. And his dimple. Yay! Oh, wait, I saw one more part. I wanted to say I was done, but oh, right here. Let me put some right there. Okay. Now we're done. Let me sign it, and then I'll hold it up. Only 5-6 minutes late. Not bad. Sign this. 24. Sanji! Happy birthday, Sanji! That's why I started this, because last week was Sanji's birthday. Happy birthday, Sanji! Here's the birthday Sanji, live action Sanji. Oh, it's not quite focused, I don't think. Oh, there we go. Here he is. Ja-da! Oh, he's so cute. If I do say so myself. Yeah, I think even the camera, it's picking up how that purple sits on top. It just looks so much more interesting than plain black. And then when you hold it down like this, in other words, when you look at it from farther away, you don't even necessarily notice that there's any purple in there without looking closely. Especially if you hold it down like this. Alright. Oh, look at all these spinning rangers. Encore. Ah, thank you. Okay. Yay, thanks for sticking with me for this extra 6 minutes. Let's find somebody to raid. And kick off my Friday, because I'm still not quite done with work. So I've got my follow-up work to do. We'll kick off the Friday with some fun stream. Let's see who's streaming. Oh, Seacrafts by Celia is streaming. Let's repay her. She rated us. Hopefully she's not ending though. She usually ends it around the same time as me. She rated us last week. Let's go give her a raid back. Oh, Aoife. So I am going over here to my PC station, so hopefully you can still hear me well. My microphone is now farther away. Aoife's head is all the way. I have to sit to the side here. Her head is hanging way out where my chair would normally go. Okay, I like to raid from my PC because then it's easier for me to type to the person I'm raiding. I hate typing on my phone. I hate typing on my phone in general, and then the Twitch app is just awful for, like, because I always write so much. I always talk so much. Anyway, /raid. Seacrafts by Celia. Oh, I gotta check. How do you spell? Okay, Celia. Alright. I think that's correct. Go! Yay! Ready to raid! Woo! Alright, well, countdown's happening. Thank you, everybody, for joining me for my final stream of the week. I'll be back on Wednesday for more illustration work. I hope to see you then. Well, the raid is ready to go, so let's go! Alright, sweet. The raid worked. If anybody is still on my channel, this is going to be it for me. I'm going to end now. Thank you so much for watching.